Okay, so when you're blending out eyeshadow, the really important thing is really just makeup brushes. Eyeshadows can be really good and really bad, but at the end of the day, I feel like the tools are more important. And again, disclaimer, I am not a professional makeup artist yet. To me, the brushes are the most important part of eyeshadow blending, because without the brushes you can't blend. And you do want a high quality eyeshadow too that is very blendable. Some are not, particularly from the drugstore. I find that some eyeshadows are not as blendable as high-end eyeshadows. I am going to be using a high-end eyeshadow palette today. I'm going to be using my trusty Lorac Pro palette, the original, and it looks like this when you open it, and it has basically every color that you could possibly want to create any sort of look that you want. I highly recommend that palette if you want to invest in maybe only have one eyeshadow palette that's your go-to. It's definitely worth the money, and you can get it at Ulta or Sephora. And I'm also going to be using my Sigma and Morphe brushes, and here they are. These three are Sigma, this one is Morphe. So Sigma, Morphe, and you can see right there what it says. So the first thing you want to do to ensure perfect blending and you know that your eyeshadow stays in place and that the colors are really vibrant is prime your eyelid. I prefer the MAC paint pots, and they come in little holders like this, and I'm using the shade Painterly, and it's just a skin tone. It's a thicker feeling cream. I just feel like this holds my eyeshadow in place all day long. I don't have creasing, I don't have any problems with this. And I do apply it with a brush and then blend it out with my fingers, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. So I just dip that in my paint pot, and I'm just gonna paint it on my eyelid all the way to the brow bone, and a little bit in the inner corners too, where I put my highlighter. And then I just take my ring finger and I blend that out. And I always start with eyeshadow first because I tend to be a messy eyeshadow applicator person. I don't necessarily trust myself when my foundation is on not to make a mistake. So that is why I start with eyeshadow first. And this is a very silky feeling eyeshadow base, and it does get tacky, so you want to blend it kind of quick. So once I have that on my lids, I let it dry for just a minute, because if you go ahead and apply your eyeshadow while it's tacky, you'll have trouble blending and it just wants to stick to it, which is a good thing, but you don't want it to be too tacky that you can't blend out your shadows. So I'm gonna let that sit for a second, and then also I make sure that my face is moisturized and my eyes are moisturized. The under eye part, I use just an Olay eye cream, and I apply it under here and up around my brow bone, but I don't go on the lid or anything because it does tend to melt into my eye, and I wear contacts and it fogs up my eyes. So that's an unsightly problem, not that you want to avoid. So once your eyeshadow base is tacky or dry or whatever, based on whatever you're using, you want to start with a transition shade, especially if you're using more than one color eyeshadow, and you want to put that transition shade in the crease of your eye right here. I prefer a large fluffy brush for this, and I'm using the Sigma Tapered Blending E35 brush, and it looks like that. I am going to go in with my all-time favorite transition shade, which is Taupe in the Lorac Pro palette, and it's that color right there. And I just dip my fluffy brush into Taupe, tap off the excess a little bit, and then I just work this into the crease with windshield wiper motions and swirl motions. And I'm not being too precise. Again, just take it and start with windshield wiper motions and then swirl it upward. So it should look like that. You just don't want any harsh lines. You want it to be pretty seamless. So the next step is then your lid. I'm gonna go in with Nude, which is this color right here. And I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M204 brush, and it looks like this. And it's very flat and thin, and this is going to help to pack product on the lid exactly where you want it. I'm gonna take my nude color, pack that on my brush, and then I just dab that on my lid. And I like this brush because it's pointed at the end and tapered, so I can really get into that inner corner easily, and then bring it up to the crease. I raise my eyebrow to try to keep creasing off my lid, but again, I have so many creases, it's kind of impossible, so I just work with it. The next thing you're going to want to do is go back into the crease with a darker shade. I want to go in with Sable, which is this color right here. And I'm going to go in with a more precise blending brush, and this is a Sigma brush, and it's the E25 blending brush, and it looks like this. And I'm going to go in with Sable, and I'm going to go back into my crease area, tap off the excess, and I'm going to run this back and forth, again in windshield wiper motions and then circular motions. And I usually start about towards the outer part of the eye because I want it to be darkest towards that outer V, which is this. An outer V, and I want the least product going towards the inner corner, so you want it to be lighter there. And sometimes I drag this down a little onto my eyelid, and if you can tell, I'm making sure to bring this up. We don't want to be dragging it down or you'll look tired or saggy-eyed, so we always try to blend upward, and that's what it should look like. We're actually going to go back in with that Sigma E35 tapered blending brush, and it looks like that, with no excess product, just whatever's left on the brush, and I'm going to blend that out some more in the crease. Just like this. And I take that up and out. And that's what it should look like blended out. The next step in the process is your brow bone highlight, and then I do take a smaller brush. I take the Sonia Kashuk number 112 brush, and it looks like this. And I use it because I can get, it fits the shape underneath my eyebrow and I can get right in that area. So for this look, I'm going to use a matte white highlighter, and it's this white in this palette, which I love. It does show up, and I haven't done my brows or anything, and I apologize, I need to go get them waxed this week, but I'm just going to take that and place that on the brow bone, starting right there at the arch of your brow, and take it down. I do a windshield wiper motion, and then sometimes I turn the brush on the side, like that, and it helps me blend out that darker shade. And then I take the same brush, dip it back into my white highlight, and I take it in the inner corner just to brighten up those inner corners because I get pretty dark in there. Blend it up on its long side, the long flat side, and back down. And that will also help to tame any dark shadow that might have crept over too far. And that is how you blend top eyeshadow. And then I'll finish the rest of my makeup and I'll show you how I blend it out on my bottom lash line. Be back in a little bit. So I have the rest of my makeup on, and I've already tight lined and lined my waterline on my eyes. So that's what I recommend doing first, just in case you get a little bit on your lash line and you need to blend it out. You're not gonna mess anything up that you've already blended. You're in the process of blending. So I start with the first brush, and this is the brush combination that I've been absolutely loving lately for my bottom lash line. And the first one is the Morphe M326 brush, and he looks like that. And then I start with that to get my darkest shadow on first, and then I go in with my Morphe M431 brush, which is a pencil brush, and then I blend it out with a lighter shade so it creates a little bit of a fade effect. I go back in with my Lorac Pro palette, and I'm going to take my Sable shade, which is right there, and I'm going to take my first brush, my little half moon brush. I'm going to dip it in Sable, tap off the excess, and I'm going to start from where my wing is and just draw a line. And I take that all the way in, leaving a little bit of space between for that area, for that inner corner. And you want the darkest part of the shadow to be on the outer part of the eye. And then I'm gonna go in with the other little pencil brush, the M431 here. And I'm gonna go in with Taupe, which was our original transition shade, and it looks like this. And then just blend that out. And that's your under eye blended out. I'm gonna re-highlight under the brow bone and then in the inner corner. And you can drag that to meet that eyeshadow under your eye. And then just put your mascara on your bottom lashes and you're done with your eyeshadow. So that is it for your eyeshadow blending tutorial. I hope this helps you guys. Again, this is just how I do it, and these are the tools that I use to create the optimal blended eye. Again, I am not a professional. I am in the process though, so just wait. I hope you enjoyed and that you have a fabulous day. Give me a like and subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I will catch you guys in the next one. See you, bye.